In this video, we're going to talk about company-specific risk. As a business owner, it is key to understand how valuations work. One of the biggest concepts that you can get a hold of is what company-specific risk means. What I mean by that is if we're talking about a company, it's Wichita, so like Textron, where it's a huge publicly traded company, we would expect that company to make 10% per year. But as a closely held business that would be much, much smaller and doesn't have the departments upon departments that can manage the risk of the company, can run the company well, smaller businesses often have an expected growth rate of 20, 25, sometimes over 40% per year is what they need to do to have a decent value. Now, when we're doing a value of a company, and this matters to business owners such as yourself, when you want to sell it, or you want to exit out, you want to set up a succession plan, when you're doing a buy-sell agreement, or even an ESOP program, if you want to start issuing stock to employees, your valuation hinges very, very heavily, not just on your cash flow, that's great, but your company could be worth next to nothing if your risk is really, really high. The relationship to keep in mind is risk and reward. So if your company is really risky, if it's very high on the risk scale, your value is going to be lower. 60% of the value of your company is directly attributable to how risky your company is. If your risk is lower, your value will be significantly higher. The reason for that is the risk is what we have to use and assess to come up with an appropriate discount rate of your future cash flows. Ultimately, that's the number of what your company is worth. Very fundamentally, whatever your company can produce in future cash flows for the amount of appropriate risk is what your company's worth. So this is huge. We do a process, it's called the Value Opportunity Profile. It's a report we put together after we assess the departmental risk of your company. We look at the financials. We create a report that shows you, as your company is today, here's what it's worth. If we brought your different departmental risk into, or your core business competencies into alignment with one another, so if you don't have a sales force that's way overproducing what you can produce, or you've got an HR department that can't keep up with how many people you need to hire and the procedures that should be in place so that your company doesn't get sued into oblivion. I mean, there's so many different ways that a company can go under because it's not growing in a balanced way. So that would be the second version of the value of the company, which is significantly higher than the first. And then even a third version of your company, once it comes into balance, an even higher valuation is possible, even under basically current financials, because we can not just bring them into alignment, but elevate the level at which your company operates that's appropriate to you. And once your company is in balance and it's operating and running better, it's going to naturally produce more. Your areas of competence are now matched by the areas that you weren't so good at, and things just tend to work better that way. But company-specific risk is the single most key factor in growing the value of your company, and we just so happen to have a way to help you identify what needs to be changed and help you through the process of doing that. I'm Michael Proctor with Leading Edge Growth, and we're here to help you work on the growth of your company through company-specific risk.